an Irish mother and a Nigerian father. And this poem relates to a trip he made as a young man after his mother's death back to her homeland, which incidentally was Limerick in Ireland, where I'm from. It's called Going Back. The ferry out of Anglesey, Holyhead Dunleary route, now closed. Walking the decks out of the wind, I found a map of Ireland, seen from somewhere out in space. A satellite photo of the place, part submerged in blue Atlantic water, its outline of a floating embryo in a blurry ultrasound of weather, spiraling inward to a navel somewhere shy of Limerick's umbilical Shannon. I couldn't unsee it. In the sway of a rough crossing, steadying myself out of the belly of the wind. That was a map of me out of my depth, going back as I was over my mother's journey out of Ireland, when there were no satellites and no way back on any map she knew of. Wasn't the swirl of steam and the stories in her own kitchen. How was I to stand, a grown man, on the bog-soft abdomen of Ireland, that old clump-booted, back-to-the-womb, Oedipal failure of mine, among people who wouldn't know me, except as I talk? It was my mother taught me, and taught me how to walk. I'd be a bundled astronaut, splashed down in a bog and be laughed at for the smattering of Irish, Osculundurus and Dunundurus on my alien tongue, opening and closing all the doors that wondered, what was that? As a wave crashed over the bow and the boat lurched and then tilted, someone asked a crewman, could we please turn back? No wonder, ploughing on, I felt unsettled by that map of my misgivings. Looking back when I could have gone on with my life just fine and not told anyone. That's where my mother's from, part settled Irish and part traveller, and that I miss her now she's gone. A part of me was dumb that didn't have her anymore to steady my feet and hold my tongue when I should feel my way towards a place of love, returning to a ghost of her among her people, watchful, silent, young. The sudden rueful laughter in her eyes, nigh on invisible to anyone but me. A child myself, blown in backwards from the sea, on a rocking ferry, and not the wit to know myself already born, the wreck I was, to stand the storm of loss, of change, the moving on, wrong-footed, bereft, and out of depth, until I stepped into her neighbor's kitchen. Bridie, I'm my mother's son. I know who you are, she says. Come in. Stood at her table to meet the wind. You look like your grandfather, and you've a lovely tan. Thank you.